Okay, finishing a splice with a slightly different type of taper. Up to now, mostly what we've been doing when we're tapering these is removing half the material in one of the strands and then continuing to splice along, and that kind of thins things down. With this type of taper, I've seen it referred to as a California taper. Rather than removing half the material here, what we're going to do is once we've put our full number of tucks in, we'll proceed with a couple of additional tucks, but for one of them only using 2 out of the 3 strands, and for the last one only using 1 strand. So it performs a taper that way. So I'll show you how it's done. We basically just have an eye splice here. I've got 4 tucks in, and so I'm aiming for 5 full tucks, and then we'll start the taper. So I'll just go and put the last tuck in with all 3 strands, just in exactly the same way that we've been doing most of the splicing here. Okay, so we've got 5 full tucks with each of these strands. And so now what I'm going to do is essentially continue the exact same pattern, but instead of splicing or tucking all 3 of them, I'm just going to pick 2 of them and just tuck with 2 of them. So we'll do, just to make it easier to see, we'll just do the red and the black. So we'll go have the black come first. So we've given him a sixth tuck, and you try to say that. And we'll do the same with the red. So red gets a number 6 as well. And we're going to leave the white being happy at 5. And to complete this, we're going to now just do 1 strand. So with number 5 we did all 3, with number 6 we did 2, and with the last one, with number 7, will just be the black strand. And you'll see that these ends form a nice little line. So you'll know which one to do next. You know, you don't want them to kind of get out of order. We should just finish off in a nice little line. Give the splice a little roll, same as we've been doing for all of them. And then what we'll do is trim and melt these. So we'll come back and show you the completed product. Okay, here's our finished eye splice with a California style taper to it. So you can see where the strands wind up ending. So we've got 5 full tucks to here, and the reason for 5 is that's kind of the minimum for security in nylon rope. If this were going to be for an anchor line or something a little bit heavier duty use, then we'd probably want to go 7 full tucks, and then an additional 1 using 2 of the lines to make 8, and then additional 1 using 1 of the strands to make 9. So in this case we've got 5, 6, and 7, and you can see where each one terminates here, and I basically just melted, trimmed and melted it, and yeah, I suppose you could whip it as well. The advantage of this taper, and it does a fairly decent job of gradually tapering down to the single dimension, the unitary dimension of the rope, is that it's a little bit less fiddly than the taper that involved removing half the material. So what you wind up with is a whole bunch of different places where you have to trim and melt, and this is just a little bit quicker and simpler to do. So it's just a nice way of finishing a line as well.